Okay, so we're going to talk about how do you dehypnotize yourself from false beliefs. I mean, that's what conscious manifesting is. It's understanding that if I'm the creator of my reality, what I think, know, and perceive is what will be in my reality. So then what I need to do is pay attention to what's going on in my brain and then change the thinking, right? Change how dehypnotize myself from these other beliefs and hypnotize myself with beliefs that actually support me getting what I want. Okay, so let's talk about this because there's so many people all over the world that just don't understand. And it's okay, right? Because that's why I keep saying the same things over and over because it'll click for people when it's ready to click for people. And one of the things that, somebody had left a comment the other day, I deleted it because it didn't even make sense, but she just doesn't know, she says, I feel you always make people feel like they're broken and manifesting should be easy and fun. And I'm like, she doesn't get it. Like, she doesn't get it that yes, it will be easy and fun if you have a good self-concept. Most people, it doesn't feel easy and fun when they're consciously manifesting because they don't feel good enough to have what they want. So then it's hard for them to sustain a story that is, hypnotizing themselves with what they desire. So it's all about overcoming the old version of you until you become the new version of you that knows that you can have whatever it is that you desire. So you have to you have to literally dehypnotize yourself from programming that you had from childhood or because things you manifested in your adult life. You had those experiences in your past and then you assumed falsely that it's because something negative about yourself or you developed a negative story about something in your reality. So you're paying attention to your mind and then you're looking and deciding, okay, is this what I want? If the answer is no, well, then what do I want? So then you change your thinking around that. And then you have to understand, do I feel good enough to get what I want? Because if I have a pattern in my life, whether it's money, whether it's health, whether it's, SP, new love, doesn't matter. If I have a pattern in my life where I've settled over and over again, then that means I don't think I'm good enough. I don't think that I can get what I want, because if you really knew you were good enough to get what you want, you would never fucking settle. You wouldn't give up on things. Why do you think people give up on their dreams? They give up on their dreams because they don't believe something about themselves that they can have it. They either think they're too old or it's never going to happen to them, or they're too scared to really overcome whatever, mindset is preventing them from seeing themselves as the vision they really want of their dreams. So you have to dehypnotize yourself. You have to really be paying attention to your mind and then choosing the story that supports that and becoming that version of you. Because when you become that version of you, it's fucking incredible. You're no longer living in your past when you're choosing a new story of you about the future you. You become that future you, and then your reality has no choice but to catch up. And you'll see it catching up as you're becoming this new version of you. People say to ignore 3D because we created, but we are human. Yes, a lot of people can. I mean, anytime you say a comment, even if you're saying, I'm ignoring, this doesn't matter, it's irrelevant, you're still kind of paying attention to it, right? But it's just whatever story. If you notice something, what's the story you want instead? And there's some things that's very easy for us to ignore because we don't give a fuck, right? It's not tied into a bad self-concept. It's not tied into our worth and value. When it's tied into your worth and value, it's usually not as easy to ignore. And so that's where you have to really know thyself and work on you so that you are changing the thinking and focusing on what you actually want rather than, sitting there saying I'm ignoring my 3D reality, but it's like sitting in the back of your head and you're constantly triggered by it and thinking of it. So we're choosing a future rather than staying stuck in our past. And when you don't dehypnotize yourself of false past beliefs, then you keep being the same version of you, thinking pretty much the same things, and then acting and doing the same things and creating the same reality over and over. Kim, I feel like your content finally clicked, sis. LOL. I've shifted, and yes, it took a year. Oh, good for you, girl. Better late than never, right? Doesn't matter how long it takes. The point is you got there. That's all that matters. Because if you didn't do it, you wouldn't have got there. So good for you. And this is what we're doing. We're choosing our futures. We're choosing our future self, the version of us that if we had this, who would we be? Well, we're not going to be the same person that doesn't have it. We're not going to be the same person that thinks like, oh, when I get this, then I'll be happy. When I manifest this in, then I'll feel, X, Y, and Z. No, it doesn't work that way. If you're the creator of your reality, you're choosing and deciding who you want and what you want to experience. And you persist in that and you become someone different in the process. It's really fun. So when we're dehypnotizing ourselves, you're learning to be someone different. You're thinking a different story about you and what you get to have. And because of that, you're going to eventually create different feelings in you as well, but you'll also get different downloads of information. You'll make different decisions, different choices, et cetera, et cetera. You'll notice different things in your reality because you are focused and becoming this new version of you, because that version that's in the future that you desire, you choose to be that version of you now. And then that version already knows the answers. That version of you thinks different. When she looks at her life, she's not stuck in lack. She's not stuck in a mindset that says, I don't have what I want. She's not stuck in a mindset that says, I'm not good enough, because she's living that version of herself. It is her reality now. So you have to understand, here I am now. What do I want? And then what are the thoughts that are preventing me from manifesting that? What are all the reasons I come up with when I think of my future reality that I'm manifesting that's triggering me, that's making me feel a negative emotion that is, popping up in my head constantly, that makes me believe I can't have something, I can't do something, I can't be something. And then that's the story that needs to change. How much did it take you to heal your self-concept? It took me at least a year and a half. And I had a lot of shifts along the way. So it's not like I stayed, this one version of myself for a year and a half. I kept grounding and solidifying more and more into her. But it was really about the year and a half mark when I really felt it shift. I started really feeling it, me being her more and more, like around the year mark. More than I was the old self concept, but a year and a half, it really solidified. And now because I keep working on my self concept, and my life is changing so much in so many good ways. And I'm like so excited about my future. And every day, like something amazing happens, and I'm meeting new people and I'm having new experiences and all the things that I have been manifesting. So I'm like really happy for it. And it's unfolding magically. And I already know it's mine, everything I want. So I feel like we're here to evolve and grow. And anytime you want something different in your life, you'll notice, right, as a conscious manifester, okay, why don't I have this if this is what I want? And then you pay attention to the reasons you come up with and see what happens. Are you being triggered? Is it about your self-concept? What's the story you're telling yourself of why you can't have this or you don't have this? And you really start paying attention and you nip all that in the bud, because you become unstoppable. You're limitless. And when you know those two things, nothing's in your way. That's freedom to me. Like, it doesn't get better than that.